Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
What's up, friends? Welcome back to the TV Terminal. My name is Adam Vale, Senior Editor over at thecoalition.com.
And I'm Josh Lamage, writer for the Coalition.
And we are back with Chief of War, Season 1, Episode 7, Day of Spilled Brains. Doesn't really roll off the tongue, but it works for the title, I guess.
Works for the title. At least it attracted our attention.
Yeah, I mean...
Action episode. Action film.
Yeah, action episode. Well, it's sad to say that as well, because it's tragic. This is a tragic historical event that took place. It's not something that you want to see, but it tells the story, and it's a story that needs to be told. Not all history needs to be erased or modified in some way to cut down the brutality. Sometimes you need to either hear it or see it or read it to really feel the emotion. And this was hard. This was hard. We were all expecting action and that type of thing. Of course, we got Jason Momoa screaming on the poster art, right? Chief of War, fighting. We get it, but not like this. This is something that it's heartfelt. It's tragic. It's just tragic. But either way, the show does a good job of explaining what's going on and setting things up. So let's just get into it. Again, real quick, I just want to say, I almost forgot, housekeeping. Thanks again, everybody, for all the likes, the subscribes, the comments. We get a lot of them on all the different platforms, and we appreciate it. We appreciate it. Yes, there's a lot of people that are into the history. That's great as well. Go ahead, put it in the comments. We got a lot of people really follow the history. They notice some of the inaccuracies and some of the things that are on point. But hey, it's still a show. They're trying to cram a lot in. I'll look up. We talked about this off camera. We're not sure if there's a second season for Chief of War. So if that's the case, then they're just going to tell the story of Kaana we got 2 more episodes, right? Because there's only 9 episodes in this season. So we'll have to wait and see. But hey, let's get into it. There was a lot that happened in this.
All right. So we start off with we're in Koala, the Koala district, and we have a whole ceremony going on. A woman approaches with a baby, and everyone is kind of celebrating, and Kamehameha stands up and he's like, this child will be ours to raise, all of ours. Like, let's celebrate this. I know that things have been really rough lately, especially with King Keoa and all this, but trust in me and trust in ourselves, and we have food and we have drink and we have everything. Like, let's celebrate. Which
I love
really
this.
Nice. Yeah.
I love this, that whole idea that it takes a village to raise a child, that whole belief. And he, as we've heard before, they say he's a farmer, simple man, whatever, but he's for the people. And this is great to see. A new life is brought into the tribe, and hey, let's all celebrate this food. There's, this is a time to stick to each other and unite as a whole, as one family. And that's beautiful. It's beautiful that they had this portrayed. And I'm sure this is not done for show. I'm sure this was a way of the culture, the people, the different tribes, right? I would think. So.
Yeah, I mean, I know they don't necessarily, do they call themselves tribes? I mean, forgive us if we misinterpreted what they were saying. I mean, I know there's different districts.
Yeah,
are we calling them districts? Are we known as districts? Because I feel like tribes.
Yeah, because the show is throwing up the splash screen, calling them districts, but we don't actually hear Kamehameha stuff saying, "Hey, this is our district. What are you doing?" So not sure, but go ahead in the comments if you're familiar with how they refer to themselves in this region, different parts. But
so then we cut to the slave traders that we had seen in a couple episodes previous, and especially at the end of the last episode. Captain Metcalfe and Marley, and they're overlooking the islands, and they're approaching one island in particular, the island that everyone else is on right now, and Marley says, "You see now, Captain, we are in paradise." And then we cut to the intro.
Yeah,
So we got
that
two things going on. We got the intro with people finally being like, okay, maybe we could just settle down and love what we have and not worry so much about the evil mad king that wants the chief of war, the god of war. And then on the other hand, we have a whole new thing that the only person that has been worried about this is Kayana.
he's
From the jump.
no, he's the only one, and no one. And I get it. Think about this. Think about this, people. I'm like, if you don't know any different, if you only know your tribes and the other tribes from the other islands, again, I'm not sure if that's how they would refer to it, but the other kingdoms, if you that's all you know. And yes, they've dealt with some of the outsiders, but not to the extent or seen to the extent that Kaana has with the slave trade, with just the brutality and just the lack of care for your fellow man. He's seen a lot. Now,
More than
the
we've
truth,
seen, right?
more, yeah, the more that, and that's the one other issue we've had with this show is when you do any research on Kaana, you'll see that he was well traveled. He went all over the place. He went to Asia, Alaska. He went all over the place. The show obviously can't show all that. It'll take too much time, and just the whole reasoning
They could
behind
have
it.
said it.
They could have said it, but I think that's the issue with this is that he is Kayana when he's talking to the people. He's trying to portray, oh, I know them, I've seen them, I did this. I was like, oh, okay, we saw a little bit, and that's enough for most people. But there's a lot more that went on in his travels that he witnessed, and that is what he's trying to portray. And this is something that a lot of shows do. They set a lot of things off camera, whether for budgetary reasons or logistics for other things. But they'll just say, "Oh, what a battle!" or "Well, remember when this happened?" And then they'll just have you use your imagination. So we just have to know, or just do your research. You'll find out that he's seen a lot. He's seen the world for what it is, and these people here have not. They don't know a lot of what he's talking about, and they're like, "Well, you make everybody sound evil." Look at John Young. He's cool. He's cool. We get along with him. He's teaching us the ways of the
Which is
pale skin
interesting
with the
because,
wing
like,
region.
initially they were so in opposition. They already know they had, Captain Cook
Oh yeah, yeah.
before. It's not their first walk in the park, so it's like all of a sudden. I mean, we'll get deep into that, but it's like all of a sudden there's like a whole new idea towards the pale skin. But the next scene, everyone's kind of enjoying the life that they have as far as walking around the town, the settlement. Kids are running around, and you see Kaamanu kind of like watching this and observing everyone, and then Kamehameha comes next to her and he touches her belly and he's like, "Do you feel the life in you starting yet?"
You're like,
And
yeah, sure, life. I feel like kicking. I mean, we all know. If you don't remember, she said she can't have any kids. It's a thing. She told her dad, and it's like, why are you putting me in this situation? Why do I have to marry? Oh, it's positioning. Don't worry about it. It'll happen. But she's just going on. Yeah, sure, life. Yeah, if you say so. But no.
then she walks over and we see Kayana walk towards her, and then they look at each other and then they walk off. And then we also see Kapoi, his wife, seeing them walk off together, and they interact with this woman that shows up. Apparently, it's one of his spies, and so he had sent out a spy to find out what KO is doing, and they have a whole conversation. She tells him that the king is well protected in the Black Desert, and I believe we have our first audio of this.
Yeah, because the spy goes off, and then this is when he.
Kamehameha has let his guard down. I will not.
And nor will I.
You support his stance for peace, but you plan war with me. Which do you want?
Both, perhaps.
I thought at that point he was going to lean in and just make a move on her, because that scene, he was real close. He's in the orders like, what do you want? You want him or me? Like He's doing that heavy
But
breathing.
this is the first episode where you've kind of seen like they've had that dynamic where they're like talking and stuff, um, pretty closely. But like this is the first episode I feel at least that we've seen more on both ends of something budding. I think 'cause she seems really really dedicated to her husband.
No,
So it's
and
like,
she is, but again, it can't just be Kaana's wife witnessing her wandering off with him, all the time. It's like Kamehameha also has to know or has people watching.
well, we
'Cause
also
yes,
know there's a little bit of naiveness with Kamehameha right now.
that is true. That
He's
is
very
true.
wise with a lot of things, but he sees the good in people a little
Yeah.
too much in this sense because this is all he's known. You know what I mean?
hmm
So it's like, and that's the point that Kayana's always trying to make. But yeah, it's
Yeah. But it didn't happen. And it's not that it needs to happen. Not every show needs to have some crazy love affair to spice things up. It's just the way they portray these scenes whenever they put them in frame, and he's like hovering over and she's looking up at him and he's like, what do you want?
that face
you
face you made was mad funny.
do you want
Your eyes
me?
crossed. Your eyes crossed for a second.
My eyes crossed.
Oh,
Yeah, I did
digital
it. Yeah,
footprint. That's gonna be
I
me,
could do it.
hopefully.
I could do it.
Anyways, so for those listening, watch this on YouTube now so that you can see this moment. Okay.
Oh boy. Yeah.
But we got to another scene. We have the slave traders now on the island. They see a kid, and I don't know why they're chasing him. I guess they want him.
Well, he said it. Marley said, if that one sees us and tells everyone, then everybody will know that we're here.
Sure.
Because at that point, they're on the ground. They're looking around. They're cutting down trees. I mean, yeah, you're already making a lot of noise.
That's what I'm
They're
saying.
getting
Like, what
ready
do
to
they
set up
think?
camp.
Like, they thought like they weren't gonna get caught at any point in this. So they start running after him, and then all of a sudden they get surrounded, which is not what I thought was gonna happen at all with them appearing. I thought they were just gonna like just start attacking people quietly and sneakily, but they got caught pretty quick. And then we come back to Kayana and Kawamanu talking.
So wait, you thought they were going to attack? I always thought that.
I don't know. Like I thought they would just have more of at some point some kind of leverage in the island. Like I didn't think they were just gonna be surrounded and be like, oh, you know what I mean? At least something, a little bit.
All right. But
I don't know, because they're like, oh, they made this whole thing like, oh, they're showing up to the islands. Like, what's gonna happen now? You know what I mean? I didn't think they were just gonna step off and be like, we didn't do anything yet when we got caught. Like, I don't know, just a little more, I guess, but whatever.
yeah,
But yeah, we get Kayana back with Kawaman. They're talking, and she says, "Do you fear what happened in Zamboanga will happen here?" And yes, Kayana is very worried. He's talking about how the cruelties that he's seen and how the people don't care unless they're worth something, and
oh yeah, that was
even things that the gods can't explain and things like that. And then she says, they actually have a king in the same way that we do. In fact, if the king dies, or they also have queens. Queens also take over.
she was showing the curtsy and doing that whole thing. It's like, oh, you would have to bend down. This is filler.
Yeah, he made it. So they're talking about this whole thing, and she was like, "Yeah, a queen could rule," and he goes, "Is that what you want?" And she's like, "Well, if I were in charge, I could change the laws of the land." And he was like, "Well, you speak like a queen." And then she curtsies, and he's like, "What is that?" And she's like, "Well, it's custom. If you meet a queen or a king, you do, you show some kind of respect." And so he goes to kiss her hand because that's what she explains to him. And then she's like, "No, you must kneel." So that was getting super dramatic.
Super dramatic. Come on now. People are probably watching, and sure enough, someone is watching. Like, Kamehameha's looking for you. Get your ass back. This is
Up on
going
the
too
top of a
far.
hill, just doing this.
You know it's broad daylight, right? We can all see you. Oh man, that scene. It's the pacing. we're witnessing all this other stuff. Granted, it's happening in different parts, but still, it takes us out of it, because then now our minds are thinking like, what's happening here? What's her intent? What's going on with these two?
Yeah, if we open image 4, we can see this little like, or maybe, I mean, this might not be the exact image, but we do have an image of the next one.
I think it was the next
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
We have just them kind of talking. I think this happens again later. They
But
have
that
a
was
lot of
later on. Yeah, that was
yeah,
because
they
you
have a
can see
lot of
the outfit.
conversations.
They spend a lot of alone time, these two. I don't know. If I was Kamehameha, I get it. He's very trusting, but still, I'm like, what's going on here? We get, and not to think that there's something shady on it, but still, clearly, Kaana has plans and he's preparing for things, and he's relaying all the stuff to the wife, because there was a scene, and I think that happened right after this, or not. I'll take this image off. But once they head back to the town, because the wife brings up, it's like, I know you're spending a lot of time with her, and he's like, oh well, she has the ears of the council, so I have to. This is how I get things done, because Kamehameha is not listening to me.
Yeah. Well, right after this, he comes back to her, and she's like, "Oh, your spy returned," and he's like, "Yes," and he basically relays the information to her, and then she's like, "I'm noticing you're spending a lot of time. You're not the same person that you were. You're losing it, and you're gonna be losing me too."
Oh man!
And then he just like walks off. Like they're just completely on other sides of this whole thing. But then we have another image. We could pull up image 3.
Yeah,
and it seems like everybody's now on the shore. John Young is now speaking with Captain Metcalfe and Marley, and they're like, "Oh, hey, John Young, like, oh, so good to see you." Like, Marley's talking to him and stuff. Like, I mean, I know John Young doesn't know that Marley betrayed everybody and tried to sell Tony and all that stuff. Like, so he's probably a little indifferent in this.
Yeah, but if anything, for the captain here to see John Young just looking good spirits, looks okay, not captive, he's like, oh, I just, from the way I can see you're standing, everything seems to be on the up and up. It sounds like they're good people, because he says he's there for trade. Kamehameha has his translator, the councilman, and he wants to know why you here. Well, trade, let's just keep business, let's do that. And he's like, okay, well, you got to stay on your ship, and then we'll come for you, and that whole deal. But then still someone there, I think it was the councilman, who says, we just can't trust them like that, though.
Yeah, stay on your ship, stay,
Yeah, let them stay on their ship.
And then the captain's like, well, we mean no harm. We're only here to trade.
Mm-hmm.
And then they look at him and they're like, okay, you're a guest. No weapons will be used against you.
We will give you a bullet and you give us everything.
Then we cut to a council meeting. Kayana is talking with Kamehameha, and he's like, these men cannot be trusted. And they're all like, well, John Young speaks for them. And John Young is like, yeah, like, well, I can't speak of all of his character, but from what I know. And then Tony's like,
oh, Tony. Yeah, let's do that.
Sold me, almost made me a slave. Like,
I think I have that.
Cannot be trusted. John Young speaks for them. Then you cannot be trusted either.
I speak not to their character.
They tried to make me a slave. Would be today if we didn't get out of Zamboanga.
Men like these are the worst of what a foreign man can be. They cannot be allowed into our kingdom or any other islands.
Is it only you who can judge the good from the bad, Kayana?
Yes, only me. So let's look at the red mouths that I brought, yes, and just start firing away. Because remember, he brought all these guns for a reason.
Yeah, he has a reason. I mean, mostly I think to
it was to protect against the other kingdoms, yes.
But it's like, yeah.
But
Kai Kelly just never showed up at all this episode. And we didn't see that new regiment that he sent out to fight either. So that, I guess, is next episode. But yeah, and they keep talking in this conversation, and Kayana turns to Kamehameha and he goes, do as your uncle did. He killed Captain Cook. They killed him and they took his bone, they cleaned his bones and they gave it back to the crew. Like, do that. And he's like, well, they were kind enough to do that for him.
Well, that was a sign of respect. That's what
Yeah,
he
to
was like. But
them.
and he was like, but that's not how they saw it. They were
Hell no, I
scared.
wouldn't see it like that. I'm like, my best friend, like they're handing me his bones, like
It's like, yeah, we cleaned it for you,
here you
nice and
go.
clean. Look at that.
I was like, what? I'm coming home and being like, look what they did to Brian. Like,
Yeah,
this is crazy. Like,
yeah. But it was, yeah. He said, do like what your uncle did. So, but the Kamehameha is like, that's not the way. That's not the way. We already know, even if we don't know, just from watching. If you just tuned in and you've missed all the other episodes, and you just tune in for this episode, you already know something bad's going to happen. You can tell just from the shadiness of the captain, the way Marley and everyone's snirkling around.
also musically, whenever someone says something
Oh,
that's like obviously you hear like a little like weird pitch, like a waning sound that appears. I noticed it like 3 times in this episode.
The
It's like, oh,
audio
what's gonna
cues.
happen, or this and that. Yeah, these little audio cues. And it's not like a foreshadowing, like song, like a real dramatic thing, but it's just a little pitch that appears, I believe. But yeah, but yeah, Kayana's like, do this, like have them fear us, have them not want to come back here, and he's still upset. And Tony's like, look, they don't see people as people. They either want to buy, sell, or trade you. Like it's not what you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone else says like, well, we don't know what Kayana has seen out there, but we also know that it's not like what he's experiencing is not Kamehameha's burden. Like Kamehameha is feeling this is like a different type of chance or a different type of way to say, we're peaceful, we're good people.
Yeah. Still, if I was friends with somebody who just came with like Tony, it's like, yo, that exact dude on this ship, not others like him, that guy tried to put me in slavery. You gotta listen to that. It's one thing to just generalize and like,
Yeah,
oh,
what?
they're all evil. You can't say that. You can't say that. I'm sorry. But when you can pinpoint, no, that guy, those people on that ship, that was the ship they were gonna send me. Then you gotta listen. You gotta show some respect. And he doesn't. Kamehameha just doesn't want to think that way. Maybe it's because of the whole I don't want to have war, I don't want
I
to
think it's
fight.
his
I'm already
personal
dealing with
hubris
other
too. Like
kingdoms.
he's very proud. Before he kind of just leaned into this role. Now he's fully claiming this role, and he feels super justified and stuff. Like, yeah, he's a positive dude, and he's saying good things, but it's like you can't control people like that. You know what I mean?
No,
So,
you can't always look for
especially
the
with
good.
these outside factors.
No.
But Kayana's like, well, I'm gonna handle this myself. He walks out. Then we find
And Tony goes with him. That's the again, Tony, loyalty.
Yeah, Tony leaves with him.
Yeah, Tony, like, when you go, I go, brother. Let's go.
We find Namake and Kupoi talking, and Kayana's talking with them too, and they're all talking about the plans and what he wants to do and what he wants to change. And Namake is very on the side of the Kamehameha. He's like, don't do anything, don't change anything. You have to follow. He's a good king. He's a good leader. Like, don't follow. And then Kayana's like, I'm gonna do this myself. So he dips out again. Yeah, with Tony and everybody. And then we look at they do a little scene by the fire, and we see Kopoi and Namake hold hands.
Right there. It's right there. I mean, she's making it known. This is it. She's moving on. She's done with Kaana. It's not happening. She's gonna go in that direction. Now, I don't know the culture. Again, in the comments, you people are familiar with this. Is divorce a thing? Are they allowed to do that? Separations? Is that allowed, or is it only till death? If, let's say, no drama from the pale skin or other kingdom, let's say the marriage just falls apart, can they just separate, and can she take a new mate in the same kingdom, in the same village area, or would she have to leave? Would they both have to leave? If you know, you know. Thank you. All right, keep going.
Thank you. So now the next scene was really cool. They're paddling in the dark of night on a canoe. 3 of them. It's Kayana, Tony, and I believe what's the last one? His other brother. Heke?
Nahi.
Oh, Nahi.
Nahi. Yeah.
Heke is his wife.
Yeah.
So Nahi. They're all together. They're going over. They creep onto the boat very like Pirates of the Caribbean type stuff. They start knocking out the some of the sailors that are on the deck. Then, and this is funny, they go down into the sleeping quarters. Everyone's like their hammocks and stuff, and you see kind of like hold his nose, like it's just reiterating like these guys are bums.
That is true. I was just thinking about that. I'm like, well, why did it? Was it really because of the smell?
Well, yeah. What else?
It was that. I was like, oh.
He's like,
I didn't even think about that. I was like, oh, maybe all right, yeah. But yeah, he
So
puts the musket to his head. Go ahead.
yeah,
Or the pistol.
they go around. They put a pistol to Marley's head, and a knife, and then he wakes up, and then Tony was like, "Oh, the devil's gonna send you. I'm gonna send you worse places than the devil could, and this and that." And then all of a sudden we hear a horn, and then we just hear, "Guyana," it's like an angry parent.
He was there. He was there. He was waiting for it. I don't get that. That I don't get, because Kana would have seen another canoe, unless they went to the starboard side of the ship and not the port side.
He wasn't there. Like I don't think he was there, like waiting, like it was some kind of ambush. I think they just like went a little bit after, because
maybe they were following. Maybe they were following.
They went
all right,
the
we'll just
ship,
go with that. They were following.
Everybody.
Yeah.
And then they come out and everyone's on the ship now, guns raised, everything. And then the Kamehameha doesn't even care about everything else that's going on. He's directly looking at Kayana like he's like gonna punish him. He's like, look, like you have to follow the law of Meoahola or something like that.
Yeah.
It was like
but pretty much he was saying, I told you no, and you still did it.
He's like, and you haven't broken the law yet. He goes, but if you break the law, I can't help you. My men will attack you.
Yeah, they're gonna put him down too. That was rough. That was rough.
And then Kayana was like, "You don't understand. Like, you really don't understand what's going on." He's like, "You don't know what you're dealing with, and I will not be the result of what's to come. It won't rest on me. It's gonna rest on you. It's gonna rest on you." So then he turns and hits Marley with the gun, and then walks off.
Man, yeah.
Then now back on the island itself, Kamehameha is talking again to Khan. He's like, "Look, I promised the Palemen safety and security. We were gonna give them that. More bloodshed breeds more bloodshed. Like, why are you doing this?"
Mm-hmm. I could understand that statement, but then again, I don't know. It's a tough, because we know, hindsight 2020, what happens. We know because we see from Kana's point of view and everything, but from Kamehameha, and he's dealing with so much already from the other kingdoms. I'm sure this is the last thing he needs. But the one thing that hasn't come up, it's like, oh, we want to trade. What are you offering?
The saddlewood.
No. That's what he's offering. I'm saying from the captain's side. From what is he offering Kamehameha in return?
Guns.
That hasn't been brought up. We have to assume, but if that's the case, we already have guns. Kana brought all the guns. He's got all the red mouse.
Well, that was Kana's deal with the other captain.
That's what I'm saying. So what is this guy? Because he wants to do trade.
He just wants to take over because he sees the whole thing.
But that's what I'm saying. It's just one little thing they should have brought up, because if this whole thing with Kamehameha is to keep the peace, right, with this captain here and his crew, then there has to be a just cause. All right, we need this for this X trade item.
Yeah, but he's BSing. He doesn't care. It's all BS. He's not making no trades.
No, I know that. I'm saying, but for Kamehameha, that's my point. We don't know what he's offered Kamehameha. That's what I'm saying.
He's not offering. He's
anything. He's just always heard.
He's not offering anything. They're gonna plan to have a conversation. The whole idea was stay off the island for right now. Then we'll talk about.
And then we'll figure it out. Yeah,
and we'll treat you kindly in the meantime. But then Kamehameha flips the whole thing and he goes, "We're not gonna do any deals with them. We're gonna send John Young over there and tell them, like, look, we don't want to do any deals.
Yeah, we're done.
We treated you kindly. We gave you food and water. Go back and tell people that we're chill, and hopefully that'll be the end of it." And then Kayana's like, "Look, you're not setting that precedent right now. Like you're making us look weak. You're making us look weak right now." So
he's lucky Kamehameha isn't as ruthless as the other king, because the other king
Joshua
would
was
have
like,
just
"What'd you say to me?"
exactly. He would have had him strung up at this point. Like what? String him
Cut
up,
out his tongue.
right? That's it. You know what?
So
Let's give him a boulder.
kind of runs out, and he's like, "Namake," and he's like screaming for him. And then Namake is always chilling by this fire, I guess. So they find him over there again, and he's like, "How does he know?" And he starts like wrestling with him a little bit. He's like, "How did Kamehameha know?" And he's like, "You've changed. You've changed so much. You're not the same since I left." And he's like, "And you've changed. Look at you. Like you're not the same either." And then
Goldie eyeing my wife.
He's like, "Well, if you didn't do it, who did?" And you see Kapoya like all sad looking and like kind of angry. And she's like, "I've always stood by you. You know, I've always stood by you, but you're not the same. You know, and I can't do this.
Can't do it." She sold him out.
And she made a point here to him in the sense she goes, we learn to speak their language, you learn their ways, you learn their weapons. You're gonna bring this and take out our culture and spread through us like a sickness. They would change us like it changed you."
Yeah. She made it seem like it's just a matter of time. She's like, it's gonna happen. Like, what?
But again, this doesn't only fall on him. It's not only his fault. He saw what's to come and saw that a whole reality was out there that they never even thought of. Their islands was their entire reality. You know? Now he's going out there. It's like as if we, you know, hung out on like a spaceship for a month and came back was like, "Yo, this is not everything." Like it's that idea. So
it's hard to imagine because the world is so small now, you know, because of the internet and we know everything that's happening everywhere. But if you didn't know what was happening everywhere, and you just got on a boat and they just sent you off to Europe or something like that, and you come off, what is this? What language are they speaking? Holy moly! You know, you should be like, wow, mind blown. You know, and I think that's what he's trying to just emphasize that, hey, there's a lot that you don't know about
and they're still not
the whole
getting
process.
And they're still not
They're
getting
not getting it.
And now
because it's not how they do things. It's not how they do things.
Now he's pissed. Now he's the only one like really loyal to Guyana. I mean, Heke, I guess, is loyal too, but he goes up to Kupoyi and he's like, "You betrayed Guyana, and this is not the first time." And they're like, "Whoa."
Oh yeah, we got that.
You betrayed Guyana.
I had to.
This was not the first time.
Do not speak on what you do not know, Nai.
Do not worry, brother. I will raise no hand to you. This family is not worth fighting for.
That's deep. That is deep. This family's not worth fighting for. I'm out. And the fact that he knows. It's funny when the other bro's like, "Don't speak what you don't know." What do you mean I don't know? I watched it. You guys were doing it in plain sight at the 4K. Beach. We see it. Come on now. Didn't you see how pissed I was a few episodes back? Yo, I was heated. This was too much
he's
for me.
He's still heated. He's loyal.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, he's definitely loyal. I mean, like you said, when it came to going on boat, yeah, Tony's for life with Kana, you know. But his brother was like, "Yo, let's go." Yeah,
no questions.
No questions. Hey, yo, if you're saying we don't trust these fools, I don't trust these fools. Let's do this. So I'm not surprised that he's sticking by Kana with all this, and good. He needs backup because right now it's like everybody is just drinking the Kool-Aid. At least at this point. Yeah, so
then we have another image with John Young and the crew. And he's
keep going, just keep going.
And he's basically telling them like, "Hey, like you gotta leave." And as far as Kamehameha thought this was gonna be like the guy was gonna be like, "Oh, all right, I get it." You know, he turns around and they're like, "You're his errand boy, aren't you?" Like, you know. And then he says to them, he's like, "He doesn't judge you for what he doesn't see right now. So, you know, act on that."
Yeah.
And well, like, what? Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say because while he's doing this, you got Marley putting his 2 cents, and he was saying real offensive stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
was saying about all the stuff about Tony and all this, and then calling him, was it the jungle people or something? He made some horrible, little offensive comments regarding the people there. And if John Young wasn't sure, he should be. Just from how they're
that brief interaction.
Just from that interaction, he should be like, you know what? Maybe they're right.
You know, and then this is something that he should relate to everybody after. Hopefully they could have noticed. And it's a quote that I love. My dad told me this one time. He says, "When people tell you who they are, listen." Which I think is a really good point here, because it's almost like when someone's trying to sell you something and then you're like, "Oh, I'm okay," and then all of a sudden they just like switch up and they're like kind of like jerks now. Like this is that. They were all like, "Oh, we're just here to trade, like we're fine," and then he's like, "Go," and they're like, "Whoa," like, but he makes some points here. The captain makes some points there. He goes, you know, um, it's only a matter of time before this whole place is an enterprise, and it's gonna happen here, and this is a treasure trove. Once word gets out, there's no stopping all the men that will come looking for it.
It's
And
true. It's true. That there is some truth there, but you don't have to be pricks about it. You know, you could be like, "Hey, we're here. Let's really work something out. Let's build a foundation, a relationship. So even if other outsiders come, we've already established a
but
trust."
I think that's what was gonna happen, and then also they bring up the whole point. It was like Kiana showed up. Like, what's up with that? It's like, well, he acted of his own accord. Like, they already know that they're not wanted there, and him telling them to leave already destroys all their plans. Like, what are they gonna do? Like, please, like, and beg and stuff. So
Yeah.
so he knows, and that's why they even leave. I think because they're just like, all right, well, what are we really gonna do here?
Yeah, that was an interesting part there too, because he even told Jong Young, he's like, "You're very valuable whenever another group shows up, if not us, just because of your relationship." And he's one of them, that type of deal, and they've accepted you into their community, so you definitely could try and imply you can make a good living. You can make some good money out of all this, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
not what
I
he's
agree too,
about.
John.
That's not. Yeah, he's trying to get him to flip, and he's like, "No, no, I got it good. I like it here. They're good people." He's like, "I just want to live my life and send you on your way. Thanks, but no thanks."
So then we cut to Kayana shooting pistols, I think at bottles and things. His aim has gotten really good. Then he throws a dagger. He's like really pissed. And then
Yeah.
now he has like a full on like pale skin attire, like colonial era type stuff. So he's like
Yeah. Oh
he has
yeah,
like
yeah. He's
he has the
he's wearing
whole
the whole
fit
thing.
now. Before it started with the pants, now it's like fully gravitating to everything. And Kamanu finds him again, and they talk, and he tells her how Kapui ratted him out, and saying that he changed, and she's like, "Well, you have changed." And
Yeah,
he's like,
that
"Well,
was
I've
his thing.
seen things that our gods can't explain." He's like, I fought back to get back home to protect our people, and I feel like I'm losing them. And the only person that really sees me is you."
Yeah. See, now this we didn't need this scene. We didn't need this scene again. She seems to always be walking around alone. She finds him wherever he's at alone, and we get these conversations here, and we get it. We get it at this point. Like we could have just stuck with what they had earlier with the spy.
Well,
And
this one's the closest one, because he kisses her hand again, not even kneeling or anything. He just kisses her hand amidst this thing that he sees her in this different light. They're really close to their face, as if they're about to kiss. So I mean, I'm assuming they're probably gonna kiss at some point. Like, why do that? And then they look over and they see the ship is still there, but it's heading to another bay. So
yeah,
Kayana's like, "Oh damn! Like, I gotta get over there." So he starts running, and then we see who in the sand. The seer, I
that's
guess. I don't know.
seer. She's a seer. And finally, we finally get to see her, and she's making eye contact with her. And this is big because she pops up in two parts. I'm thinking that
I don't think she
if
even
it's
sees her. This is a whole separate thing.
it's this whole separate
Yeah,
thing,
she's just on the in the desert, and she's in the black, what they call it, the black sands, the black desert. She's like squeezing the sand and turmoil, and her eyes are like pale, and she's like wailing, and
yeah, it's coming. She starts saying some kind of chant, right? It was something to that
she starts crying. Yeah, she says, what did I write? Yeah, she's distraught. She starts singing, and
because
then
what? Yeah, go ahead.
she's singing, "Where are you?"
Where are you?
I don't know. She's talking about the protector,
It
the
could
one in the
be.
prophecy.
Could be because then while that's happening, we have two other things going on. We see there's a bunch of people on the beach. This is where Bai is there
Bye.
with her, right? Vi, right? With the
Yeah,
Bai. She's with her son. They're hanging out. See, he accepted her. We weren't sure of that relationship, but
that's
hey,
so
they're
sad.
happy,
So sad.
right? It's all worked out, at least for a little while. They're there, everyone's there. they also notice the boat. The son takes a look. He's like, "Oh, look, what's this? Oh, it looks like they're getting closer. What's that over? Should we go?" He's like, "Yeah, why not? Let's go." I
But did
don't
she? I
understand
think
that.
maybe she thought it was a different ship. I don't know. Like she was
I,
like, "Oh,
I
they're supposed to come back, but I didn't know they were gonna come over here." And she like walks over, and the kid's like, "The ship is singing to us,"
yeah, it's
and the
like, and
seer is crying even more, and then she yells out. She yells out the title, "The Day of Spilled Brains."
yeah, yeah, because we hear on the ship, right? It's a horn, like a war horn that they're sounding off,
They're sounding a
and
bell.
yeah, well, that it was also a horn. It
Oh,
wasn't
there's
just
a
bell.
horn
He was
too.
like, "Oh," he was doing a horn. But the captain says, "I want you to load nails. Load nails and the cannons." And that's it. And he just starts letting
Kayana's
loose.
running through the forest, like
He's
knocking
running.
things through. And the boy's like,
He's
"Oh, the bell stopped. Like, what's going on?"
and
And
that's when
Vi,
the mom, yeah.
yeah, she was like, "Well, nope." And she goes to turn around, but it's like they start shooting, and all the people were curious too. So the saddest thing, they all like walked over towards the boat, like, I'm sure they probably heard about John Young and the stories of Captain Cook and all that. So they're just like, "What's going on?" They're very like curiously intrinsic, and boom, starts getting, and it was almost like a Gatling gun kind of thing. Like they were just all just getting like
Well, it was
D-Day,
one
like
after another. Yeah,
D-Day
they
type
they
stuff
were
on the
just
beach. It's
deploying them
crazy.
all, and then they were reloading, and just it was like wave after wave to the point that it was actually real cannon fire. Because
Yeah,
when they would
the
show the
stanchions
beach, you
going.
would see some cannons hit and bodies flying in the air. It was brutal. I guess the thing people were like, "Oh well, was there any crazy action?" Yeah, but this is horrific. This is not wasn't combat. This was a massacre. This was horrible. This is what he was known for. And it was a horrible event that took place.
Then we see a girl standing, just like in slow motion, everyone running around, and Vi runs over and covers her, and we just see like just the blood spraying from the nails going through her skin. Now we don't know if she's alive or passed. I'm sure we'll
Yeah.
find out, obviously, but it didn't look pretty. So she's holding on to the girl, and then now we're back on the ship, and Captain Metcalfe is still pissed. He's like, "Well, I'm not doing anything with this." So he turns to Marley and he's like, "You wasted my time and my money." And he fires a warning shot next to him. And Marley's like, "Okay." So he backs up and he motions like, like not walk the plank, but I guess like jump
Yeah.
off my ship.
That's pretty much it. That's like the walk the plank, jump off the ship. That's it. And he jumps off. Now the question is, what happens to him? He's
He's
gonna
gonna end up
live.
ashore and he's gonna
That's
deal
what
with
I'm
like
saying. It's
consequences. Yeah,
and what is he gonna play dumb and be like, "Oh, I told him not to do it. I jumped. I was like, I don't want any part of this." I could see
they're
him
gonna
lying.
totally like
I
they're
could
gonna
see
blame
him
him for
backtracking.
everything. They're gonna probably, I don't know. It's not gonna be pretty. And then Kayana sees the destruction from afar, and we see tears in his eyes, and then a silent cut to the credits. Very,
Yeah.
very strange ending to what we've compared previously, But
Mhm. Yeah.
a lot of
It's brutal.
heartfelt, yeah. So
It is brutal. It's going to be interesting to see how this whole thing plays out now, because is the captain still going to stay around, then come ashore? Is he even going to bother, or is this just like I'm just pissed, I'm just going to kill whoever and then take off? We'll have to wait and see what's Kamehameha's response going to be to this whole thing. What about the other kingdoms? Do the other kingdoms, word's going to spread? Word's going to spread that this happened. I mean, even if let's say you're they're not that far off, you could still hear the gunfire. So let's say if you're on one of the other islands, I'm sure they heard the gunfire. I'm like, all right, something's happening over there. What is that? Maybe they're able to see the
really,
ship.
really makes
Not
you
sure.
appreciate like what we have now as far as communication, right? So it's like you're
Oh
gonna have
yeah,
to wait like a couple days or weeks for someone to like paddle over and be like, "Hey, so this happened." You know
yeah.
what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's wild, but
Things have definitely changed and evolved. But
yeah.
so yeah, in regards to this episode, it was all right. I mean, it was progressing the story. Some filler, it still had some filler, but it's getting there. But I still feel it taking a little bit too long. We have 2 episodes left, and I was just expecting more of a fast pace. Again, not all you don't have to have all the action, but just keep things moving
I thought they were
to
gonna
a
kill
point.
KOA by now or something.
Yeah, yeah, like get something going on with the other kingdoms, play that story out. Uh, it's just certain parts that just aren't flowing. or even with the whole backstory, at least some flashbacks. There's just some. They could have had a little montage of just showing Kaana's adventures or some other things or things that they've seen outside in the world, just to tie it in with a lot of the ways he feels about things and what he's telling
I
them.
know they showed Alaska and like and I mean, yeah, he's well traveled. They just made it seem so soon. It's okay.
Yeah, I think you know what it is.
I'm sorry. I
They
was just
didn't.
gonna say,
They,
especially how he's acting. Like he's like, oh,
yeah.
I've seen things, but yeah.
Yeah, and the amount of time. That's pretty much it, because we know it took 1 year when he got to that other trades island. But then when they left, did it take 1 year back, or did he make other stops? Because that's the whole thing. That the story is that he did make a bunch of stops before. He didn't just come right back. So maybe that's it, but it doesn't even matter at this point. It's just one of those things. It's because it keeps coming up that he keeps saying, you don't know them like I do. You don't know them. It's like, all right. Now they do, though. Now that doesn't matter anymore. Now they've just witnessed it firsthand. So we'll have to see how it plays out. And remember, this whole story is about unifying the islands. And Kamehameha plays a big part of that. And this could be it. This could be the turning point. It's like, all right, why are we doing all this infighting when we have the outside world coming in for all of us? Our land. So we'll see. We'll see how they decide to portray the rest of the story. So we got 2 more episodes. So again, everybody, thanks for sticking with us throughout this entire season. If you're still here, thank you again for that. Like, subscribe, stick around. We got other shows that we're covering on the channel. As you can see, we just finished up Dexter. You'll probably see the last episode by the time this goes up, if not shortly after. That's Dexter Resurrection. We also have the Terminal List, Dark Wolf, and then Gen V is coming. That's later on this month. So Josh and I are going to be going after that one. And if you haven't seen it, that's a wild show. That's very different than what we're covering right now. A lot of craziness in that show, but it's funny. It's a lighthearted funny. All right, everybody. So we will see you. Yeah. Thank you. All right. So we will see you next week, everybody. Peace.